Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we are here on Wreckfest and we're going to hop right in. This first race is with the AI, but I did mix in a few races with real players. I just put them in different order and I completely forgot what map we're on, but it's a combination of two big loops and there's just a lot of chaos that goes on. I mean, there's no rules here, so you can race a van against a supercar, and the two loops cross in the middle as I nearly die thanks to the yellow car. I don't know these cars' names at all, but this game just feels fun when you play it. So I decided to try to get a few clips as the person in front of us nearly dies. We have a person on the inside missing by an inch, and just get the rear end sideways to get it around the corner. And now we're at the end of lap 2 as we nearly died to another big van coming around the center. Now for these corners, that's really the calmest part. You just kind of drift around them, and then you just want to get as high in the air as possible, but even then you can't even be protected because I got whipped basically, and I have no idea where to go on this track, so I just followed these two people in front of me. So now what I'm going to try to do is just going to try to bring the car home in run piece, maybe run a tighter line so I don't get hit from the outside. But even then, more people almost died. His head almost got shaved off in one crash. Taking the inside line, trying to get some overtakes done. We are in 13th out of 24, and I'd hope to at least get maybe top 10 in here. As you can see, the entire field is spread out as we hit the inside wall, just try to get the car around. Now we do have health in this game, as you can see in the bottom left corner, and we almost died there. Just about everyone in front of me died, and we're in the top 10 now. So that's pretty amazing. I think we have one more lap to go after this jump. Just give the wall a sweet drift tap. We make it safe down the first jump. Coming to the loop, just slow down a little bit, get the car rear end rotated, or at least I tried to. And then we have a winner. Just jump out, try not to get killed. And we are one of the luckiest people alive in this race. We somehow managed to survive without getting destroyed. And that is P6 as we send it across the line. Yeehaw. Now we are at race 2, which is kind of a city circuit, and this one is online, so you can see the player skill is going to vary a lot more now, as nearly everyone dies in corner 1, and sorry for the FPS drop, it doesn't really run that well, as someone just tries to commit suicide on me and I give him another tap in a GTR, and there's death and destruction everywhere early on the brakes. Just try to turn in. There's a skull on my screen. I don't know how YouTube is going to feel about that, but we kind of just get rammed into the wall and we lose about 50 of our health as we try to turn away from this little yellow car, but he keeps turning into us, which is kind of annoying. So you might want to play this game offline first, since the players are really toxic, or that could just be more fun to you as you have someone reversing on the circuit. Have the white Mustang we met earlier. I'm going to try to race somewhat cleanly for the video, because I figured maybe you want to see clean racing instead of non-stop crashing. But that could just be me, as we get one sent up the inside by the white Mustang and he completely misses. And now we are left to do 2 more laps of this race with 23 health. And well, 20 health now. We're on critical damage. Our brakes are basically nothing. The rear end is just doing its own thing from the rest of the car. And I really have no idea how this circuit drives. So I'm just going to hope I don't crash and lose all 20 of my health. And I have a feeling this person behind me is about to give me the ramming of a lifetime. So I decide to get on the brakes early, turn in as far as I can before I get killed. And somehow we survive, as he actually almost tried to kill us on the corner exit. But I think that's decent. We're still in the top 10, even after getting rammed for everything that we lived for. As we cut the first corner a little bit. I did watch Fail Race, so I do know a little bit about this track, but not much. As you see 2 people in front of us, we're going to try to go around them without killing ourselves too much. We are on critical damage. 2 people take themselves out. This guy slams on the brakes for no reason. We are on fire also. Just try to send one up the outside as whatever car that is, just tries to kill us. So look back, let him slam into the wall, try to gun it past him. As we now on 10 health, can we get a move out the inside? As we actually get killed by the purple Mustang. What a waste. Now we are at the final race for this video, and it's actually a NASCAR circuit with a bunch of different cars, so I'll guide you through it. Do not hit the apex. It's that simple. You just saw what happens when you hit the apex. You basically bounce off of it. And you can go about 3 wide here with the cars we have in this game at most. But as you can see, no one exactly shares room on the track in this game. It's mostly just death and destruction. And it's really hard to get these cars turned for tight corners since the handbrake. You find out that it really doesn't need to be used much unless you're really desperate trying to get the car around. As you can see here, we're going too wide into the next corner. Hopefully we don't get ass packed. Go light on the brakes, just turn in as much as we can. Use the power to get rotated as we almost die to just trying to survive on the track. Now we're going to try to take in a little bit more speed. I am playing in automatic since the control binds are horrible in this game and you can't customize them. You're just left with a bunch of presets as you just turn in as hard as I can and the game shifts me down to second gear. When you're playing a game like this, automatic is fine, I guess. You're not really, well, in this scenario it is fine. I'm not sure about other scenarios, but seems to be working fine, trying not to upset all the players around me as the person in front of me almost dies from just touching the apex. I'm going to try to send one up the inside into the next corner. We're on lap 5 out of 12. Early on the brakes, so we still make a little bit of contact. Try to go around the outside, but he blocks it off completely. So we're going to try to take a more cleaner line into here. Is that a bedroom set in front of us that we just passed? So apparently someone here was racing in their couch. I'm not sure why, but they were, as we almost hit the apex, which is, as I said, very dangerous. And it's going to use the top of second gear to try to get us out of these corners. Trying not to touch the apex, even though that's what every other racing game wants you to do. And we're just trying to make the most out of what we can here. Early on the brakes, just try to keep the corner as tight as we can with early power out. And we get about halfway through third gear before we have to shift down as someone's going to kamikaze everyone behind us. The player base in this game is like GTA basically. Everyone just wants to, once they start losing the race, they just turn around and start kamikazing, or they just sit in the track to block you. As they're going too wide in front of me and they single filed it out, I think. Never mind, they went up the inside, I think. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to follow the same exact move here, as close to the apex as I possibly can, and hopefully not die as we get stopped basically by the person in front of us. And this Mustang is actually trying to kill me for some reason, even though he's not in this race anymore. And we have unfortunately lost about 5 seconds or so to the people in front of us because of that stupid Mustang. And we hit the apex and we're two-wheeling it. Now try not to hit the corpse of the dead car, and of course it just happens to turn in the same direction I am. And of course there goes that man who is in a poop toilet thing. I mean, you can technically race anything you want here. Just try not to hit the apex. Now we're we're in the top 4 now. Top 5, we may be able to get a podium. I think this person may be a top 3. I'm not sure, but as we nearly die on the outside, we have 1 lap left to go to see if this man is actually P3 or if he's just sitting around here. And I believe that was the man that did ram me, or it was a white Mustang, I'm not sure. But yes, he comes in for the ram again because he's horrible at driving. So what I try to do, I try to push him out of the way into the wall myself, get on a little bit of action, and we actually lose the position, so now we're back to top 5. But that's unfortunate.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're